All right, all right. What's up, y'all? So, I had a request about the hunts. How do you build a team? Why do you use the heroes you use? There's lots of different opportunities here. And in reality, it all comes down to your particular heroes, what their stats are, and whether or not those stats are going to survive in all reality. So, let's get started. First thing you do is go to the tavern. You click on that little start hunt prep that I just clicked. If you hadn't signed in yet, you need to do that first. And then you select your back position, your middle position, and your front position. So let's talk about what we pick and why we pick. Personally, what I like to do is use heroes of three different levels, right? I will have, like, for example, we have 13s here that you can see. I'll use a 13, a 12, and 11. My front line, I will try to make a level 13 in this scenario, the highest level, so that they have the most hit points, right? Because your front line is that tank. It's going to absorb the damage when the boars attack you. So I'm going to want this knight right here. Most likely, oof. But if you look, he's got a dex of 15, which means it's going to be hard for him to hit. So a little information here. The baseline stat is 20 for the boar hunts, right? The boar hunts are calibrated at level 10. They get harder as you go up in level. So if you have an average level of level 11, 12, 13, 15, 18, whatever, the boars are going to be a little bit more difficult. So the key here is to keep that average level of your heroes as low as possible while also utilizing heroes that can succeed. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use this guy anyways, even though he's got a 15, which is going to make it a lot harder for him to hit. So what we're going to start doing here is talk about these different stats and what they mean, right? Strength. Having a high strength means you do more damage. Low strength means you do less damage. Strength is directly related to how much damage you will do. It's not the only stat, but the primary role of strength is how much damage you will do. Dexterity. It is the primary stat used for physical attacks, again, based on a level of 20. Agility is the primary stat used for physical attacks. So this is your ability to dodge a physical attack. If the boars attack you, how often are they going to miss? Vitality is the primary stat used in how strong you are, i.e., how many hit points your hero has, how much survivability it has. Endurance. This is your ability to resist spells and negative effects, as well as the ability to randomly, at the beginning of your turn, cure those random effects and make them go away. Intelligence, in addition to being one of the two stats that dictates how much mana you get each turn, like vitality is for health, intelligence and wisdom combine to let you know how much intelligence or increase your chances of getting a good mana upgrade for each level. Wisdom is also used for your primary stat to dictate your ability to dodge a magical attack, which we don't have any magical attacks yet from our side. So people aren't really paying attention to that. In my mind, wisdom is kind of that hidden stat that a lot of people aren't paying attention to, but it's going to become in real big once we start getting magical attacks. Luck is used all over the place. Luck will help you score more critical hits, potentially increase your ability to get awesome drops on a successful boar hunt. So luck comes into play on several of the different stats. Having it be high is very good. So what I'm going to build right now, I'm going to put that level 13 in the front as my meat shield, right? Because when you heal with potions, it is percentage based, right? So the higher your health is, the more health you will regain with a health potion. Now, when using a priest, those are set by the priest's ability level. So the priest, your health won't really matter as far as how much you heal with a priest's heal spell. All right, so we got a knight there. Let's go ahead and use this 12 for our archer, I'm going to put him in the back, and I'm going to look for a level 11 warrior, right? So I have an 11 warrior, a 12 archer, and a 13 knight, which will give me an average level of 12, which makes my knight that much more powerful because the boars are level 12, the knight's level 13. So assuming I've leveled up well and have good vitality and a high hit points, it's going to survive a bit longer. So let's look for that level 11 warrior. I got too many level 12s. All right, here we go, down to 11. So I got a warrior here. And let's see, do I have another warrior? I got one right there. I got one right there. All right. So let's look for the best warrior we have available. Level or dex of 19, they're going to do pretty well. They're going to hit most of the time. He's got a low agility, which means he's not going to be able to dodge much. His is 19, so he's going to do much better. Let's see what we got here, 21 and 15. Oof. He's going to get beat down pretty much anytime someone tries to hit him. He's probably going to get hit. But let's go ahead and use him because I got a good knight and I got a good archer. So they will balance him out. So he's going to go in the middle, and this knight will go in the front. All right, so I have an archer, warrior, knight as this particular party. I'll show you in another video a different makeup. This is just one of the many makeups you can have. I mean, you could put a priest here and 2 knights, as Mr. Nani suggested, which in all reality, you have 2 tanks up front, which will probably have high hit points because knights have higher hit points than a lot of the other classes, right? You see here, he's got 848, 562, and 604. These are also PJ heroes, so they have different variables going on. The next thing you do is look at your builds. What do you want for each of these heroes? And you select your abilities. Personally, my preference is with my archer, I'm going to go ahead and do the multi-shot, the flurry, the rapid shot, and then a 2 stone or 1 small stone just for some fun sometimes. But primarily what I'm going to run with these is I'm going to hit my multi-shot. This is a passive skill, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit that rapid shot. And you notice if you use multi-shot the turn before you use rapid shot, you get a little bonus here with rapid shot. With your warrior, I love that gladiator strike, so I use it. I also like the ability to heal myself, so I get that bloodthirst, and I rock this. Now, something I will alternate in between is on level 4 or tier 4. Sometimes I'll use punish, and sometimes I'll use rapid onslaught. I switch it up, right? That rapid onslaught can be great when you need to use it. And yeah, it's got amnesia too, but in all reality, you build it back up. Even if you use it and it's gone for 2 turns, you use the basic attack on the next turn, which improves your ability to cause your target enemy to bleed with your gladiator strike. And then on that next turn, you have the combo here where it improves your rapid onslaught. So basic strike, gladiator strike, rapid onslaught is something I do I flow through that with my warriors. With my knights, I will use that mighty strike just so I have a baseline damage dealer right at the lowest level with few mana points. You see it only costs 13. This is a passive, which gives me some more primary defense. And then this is the ability to daze an opponent for 3 turns. All right, so I usually use that. And then on the 4th tier, I'll use Ironclad Defense, which just gives me more defensive abilities, right? It damages hero receives from sources in position 2 and position 3. It's reduced by a percentage depending upon, again, my endurance. So those are my heroes that I'm going to rock, and I've explained to you why. Let's get her done. Let's see if I can win this. Now, it might win, it might not. Sometimes RNG is your enemy, and no matter how great your heroes are, you just do a bunch of missing, and your enemy just smacks you and gets a bunch of crit hits. Regardless of how great your heroes are, you can still lose every time. Or you can still lose. Not every time, right? Just that time that they got the good RNG. RNG is random number generator. So it's basically each time I attack or the boars attack, it's kind of like a die or a dice is rolled in the background, and there's a percentage there, right? So if you get good enough and you roll high enough, then you hit. If your roll is too low, you don't hit and you fail. So here we go. Doo-ka-doo-ka-doo, waiting on you. Why are you not giving me the cue? It's pending. Let's go ahead and speed up this transaction. It's taking a moment. Frustrating, but that's always the way it works, right? The unexpected must always be accounted for. Waiting for you to approve the transaction. Let's do it. Come on. Come on. Get her done. It's normally not this slow. Usually it happens a lot quicker than this. I guess everybody finished Super Bowl finished their party, and now they're probably all jumping on to DeFi Kingdoms and get their hunts done before they go to bed. Oh, those doggone West Coasters. That's what it is. Come on, you. All right, this is taking a ridiculously long amount of time. It is usually not this long, but you notice I have a level 12, level 11, and a level 13. So my average level is 12, which means the boars that I'm fighting against are going to be rated at level 12, right? So their hit points and their strength and their ability to dodge and their ability to hit, all of that will be based on level 12. And I've got a level 13 frontline tank. So that will make him a little bit stronger than them. I also have my archer, which is my primary damage dealer because he can deal damage to a whole bunch of different peeps with that multi-shot or that rapid shot. So he's on level with them. And then I used a warrior who's a level below. Wow. This is taking a really long time. I went up to aggressive too. It usually doesn't take this long. There's something going on with my computer, probably because I'm streaming, taxing out my computer a little bit. It's doing some extra stuff and taking too long. There we go. All right. So now who, how, and why? What do I do and why do I do it? On my first turn with my archer, I'm going to use that basic multi-shot so that I can build a combo for rapid shot. So first turn multi or rapid shot. Because I have two frontline damage dealers, I'm going to go ahead and send this to the middle boar because you want to kill these two first. These two have a spell called Nuzzle, which is basically a healing spell, right? So I want to knock these guys out first because that Nuzzle, that healing spell, is percentage based. So these guys each have, wow, evil hit points, 666. They are the devil. It's official. But that Mama Boar has 1,106. So a nuzzle used on Mama is going to recover more hit points than a nuzzle used on one of these baby boars. And I think it's 300 hit points. Once they drop 300 hit points, and that may change upon level. But once they drop down a certain amount, they will trigger an automatic nuzzle on the other. And I'll show that to you here. Now, again, with my warrior, it's all about building up to that bigger attack, right? You've got your basic attack. You've got your gladiator strike, which if you notice here, if basic attack was used last turn, you get a plus 60% chance to inflict bleed. Now, bleed is just a passive status effect that will occur on those boars, which will cause them to take damage every turn, even before you attack. Just the beginning of their turn, they take damage automatically because they're bleeding. So I'm going to use the basic attack on this front one because warrior and knight typically can only attack whatever boar is alive in front of them. Now with my knight, I'm going to go ahead and use Forever Vigilant because if you notice, it allows my heroes behind that knight to get a daze resistance, and all three of these boars have the ability to cast that daze effect on you. So first turn with my knight, I'm going to go ahead and use that. It may or may not daze him. Ooh, it did, which is good. But it also more effectively made it so that these two heroes are less likely to get dazed by the boar's attacks. All right, so now I used my multi-shot last turn. You notice that there's a little blinking green box around this one, meaning that I hit that combo and that combo is active. So for my second turn on him, her, or it, Sidiux Cadusa, I'm going to go ahead and use her up. And you notice did some good damage there. I got that crit on the middle and hooked them up in the front. Now we're going to hopefully hit on this front board, make them bleed a little bit, get that bleed action. Oh, yeah. So now a passive effect is on their turn, they take 14 damage. The beginning of their turn, for 3 turns, they're going to take 14 damage. Point blank, period. Now, on my warrior, had I chosen a different tier 4 effect, I could capitalize on that because when they attack that boar that is bleeding is one of the status effects that it's count for. It's the far right tier. I forget the name of it, but it does additional damage when they're bleeding. Now, the tier 2 or the tier 3 that I have chosen also does additional damage when that boar is bleeding or that enemy is bleeding. Now you've noticed you see a little red plus sign right there, right? That means that the mama boar has taunted this hero. So this hero, when it's their turn, is only going to be attacking the mama boar. So I'm going to go ahead and daze that mama boar. Hopefully this doesn't do as much damage, but it has the ability to daze, which knocks them down and makes them take their next turn later, which gives me the ability to have more heroes and more attacks before that mama boar gets to go again. All right, now you notice I use my multi-shot and then I use my rapid shot, so that's done. If I had chosen the third pierce tier, there'd be another piercing one here, and that would be green, and I'd be able to channel for 1 turn and then do tons of damage. I'm just not a huge fan of channel right now because with these guys and their headbutt ability, they can headbutt this tier or position 2 and position 3 and interrupt your channeling, and then you spend that mana to do that channel and you end up not getting it off. So I don't really do a lot of channeling right now. So I'll go ahead and work my way back through. I'm going to do the multi-shot again, followed by the rapid shot. I'll go ahead and target this front one. This one right here is at 392. So if I do much more damage there, it's going to get healed by that frontline boar. So what I want to do is I want to just keep him there and then kill this frontline boar, hopefully at a time when mama boar is channeling, so that I don't get the nasty rampage coming back at me. All right, and this one right here, you've got the combo active, Rapid Onslaught. The problem is this might actually kill him. He's got 241. My bottom is 212. I'm going to take the chance because in all reality, worst case scenario, those 2 boars go, but I've got the knight who can go again before the mama boar goes. The reason I say that is because he's lost some damage or some health points, and you got to be careful. If that mama comes with a rampage, she's going to do a lot of damage. You want to make sure she doesn't kill your meat shield, that frontline knight. But with 464 damage, even if she hits that, it's not going to kill that knight at level 11. Right now, if these were level 16 boars, they might kill that knight. But right now, I'm safe. So I'm going to go ahead and use that, just kind of smack this dude around. And if I kill him, it's okay. I'm not worried about it. Ooh, heck yeah. There we go. And you saw that nuzzle get triggered. So now this boar has used its nuzzle. And it's got to wait 5 turns again before it can nuzzle or heal again. So this is perfect. Now my goal is to trigger the wild charge from the mama boar before those 5 turns are up. So I can get her channeling, charging, and then she's exhausted for a few turns. Once she's exhausted, that's my opportunity to kill off these boars where she doesn't do the rampage afterwards and cause excessive damage. So let's go. Oop, I got the mama boar. She has a little bit of daze resistance, so I'm not going to try and daze her again. I'm going to use my mighty strike and do a whole bunch of damage, hopefully. Bam, 162. Mama's down, and there's that channel. So you see this, and you know she's channeling. Once you see those yellow lines come up, that means it's open season to murk these two, right? Because you won't get her rampaging on you, causing massive damage. Hopefully, I'm not going to illustrate the rampage and the damage that it does on this quest, because I don't like triggering that. It just makes my heroes take lots of damage. Now, when you see her channeling this, she is going to do a lot of damage. She could hit potentially all 3 of your heroes if they don't have a high enough agility in order to cause her to miss. So you got to make sure that they have enough health points to survive this rampage. You see he's way up there. 486 at level 11 is way enough. Max at 562, definitely going to make it. 389, probably going to make it, right? Unless she gets a crit, that should survive. So I'm probably going to want to heal my knight before she pulls that off, just to make sure. Now, she's here, which means I have my knight, my warrior, both of the baby boars, and my archer to go first. So I got plenty of time. I'm going to wait and use it on my knight. With the one danger there is that one of these 2 baby boars could daze my knight and cause it to drop down and go after mama boar. But I've got my warrior there as a backup just in case. So I'm going to use my archer, which is your primary damage dealer. And I'm going to go ahead and cause as much damage as possible using this rapid shot. Not worry about healing right now. Bam, got a crit on the middle boar and hooked mama boar up for some. Yeah. And you see, there you go. There's that other nuzzle. So you got the nuzzle cooldown here for 4 turns, nuzzle cooldown here for 5 turns, which means there's no more heals left in this team for a minimum of 4 turns. So I can do as much damage as I want and take them down. Now, normally I'd roll through basic attack, gladiator strike, and then rapid onslaught. But because she's charging and I want to do as much damage as possible in the shortest amount of time as possible, I don't want to use 3 turns because I'm only going to get about 2 turns. Well, I'll get this one, but if she dazes me, then I will only have 1 more. Then again, on that note, just kind of thinking it through, I'm going to go ahead and use this opportunity. Nah, I'm not. What I was contemplating right now is my knight has the ability to give me that daze resistance. So I want to use this forever vigilant on the knight's turn, which means I can't heal the knight on the knight's turn. Now, both baby boars have attacked, and I have 331 hit points left. Probably going to survive that. The problem is afterwards I have the archer, and then those guys go. Now, if the archer gets dazed, it's going to drop behind them. So one of these 2 may end up killing my knight after the rampage is done if it doesn't miss or get blocked. So I'm going to sacrifice this turn, and I'm actually going to heal my knight right now. There we go. Bring my knight way back up. So now I'm not stressing over this guy dying. I'm going to use my daze resistance, and you see they only have 1 more turn, which actually, oh, doggone it, they already have it. So 1 more turn. Mama boar goes before they do. This was an oopsie. I didn't really need to do this. So with that in mind, I'm not going to use the forever vigilant because I don't need them to have daze resistance. They already have it. I'm going to use my mighty strike, cause as much damage as possible. Now mama boar runs through. Let's see some misses. Oof, no, they all took a bunch of damage. All right, and this is where a priest would come in handy because priest can heal your entire squad in 1 turn. Not necessarily to max level, but it can give them a whole bunch of hit points to everybody. That's why a knight might be useful to have. Typically, I'll put them in the back position when I do have them, and I'll show you that in another build. All right, so here we go. It is my archer's turn. I'm going to work my combo, start with multi-shot, and then go to rapid shot. We use that multi-shot on here, and yes, you see it's overkill. This guy's only has 82 hit points, right? I could probably use a basic attack, and you see that'll do not enough damage to kill him. So nope, I won't use that. I wouldn't ever use that. The reason I was trying to explain is, let's say you only had like 35 hit points or 20 hit points. If this boar were to block your attack, then you wouldn't necessarily kill him. So I'm going to go ahead and use this and hope that it kills him, because in all reality, he's got 82. So if I do 82 and he blocks, I'm not going to kill him. But we will see here. Let's go. Let me murk that baby. Yeah, see, there it is right there. One of them hit, one missed. So I only did 45. He's still alive with that 37. And then at the beginning of his turn, that little whirlpool you saw was his high endurance clearing this negative status effects. So he only has 37, which is half of this. So even if he blocks it, I should still kill him. So I'm going to use my basic attack. I should be good to go there. And assuming I hit, which I did not, I missed, he would have died. Once again, I've got the basic attack to use here, so I don't waste my mana. I'm going to use that and hopefully murk him. There we go. Now he's toast. And you see Mama Boar's down here. I've got the archer, gets to go twice. I still have my warrior and my knight. So I've got 4 heroes to try to take him out, or this one out, before Mama Boar is unexhausted. The reason that's important is if you see these 3 little sweat dots, that shows that Mama's exhausted. If Mama's exhausted when you kill a baby boar, she doesn't retaliate with that super rampage. If she is not exhausted, she will rampage, and she will hit, she will attack 2, if not all 3 of your heroes and cause a boatload of damage, which could murk you and cause a lot of problems. So I'm going to go ahead and use my rapid shot because I've got a bunch of heroes left to go ahead and come through this. Plus next turn, I'll go ahead and use my multi-shot. Hopefully I get a crit here and do a little damage to Mama. Went backwards, did a crit there and did a little damage here, but that's all right. I got all 3 of them still to attack, try and take this baby boar out. And this one's activated because I did my basic attack last turn, which means I've got this now, and it will hopefully cause bleed since it goes before Mama. That's one more chance to give a little bit of damage to it and knock it out before Mama Boar comes off exhaust. But I missed. So that does me no good. All right, Mighty Strike. Again, trying to murk it, do as much damage as possible. And we do 159. We got 228 left. I'm probably not going to kill this guy. Pretty much guarantee it because I don't have my rapid shot. If I had rapid shot, I might be able to kill it. But with this multi-shot, even with a critical hit, I'm probably not going to do that much damage, do 228 damage. So I'm likely going to have to trigger a rampage when I kill this guy. And I will show that to you. Now, cannot use Nuzzle for 2 turns, but it goes next. So 1 turn, which means if Mama Boar was really low in health and I had heroes that could attack Mama Boar directly, i.e., the archer can go straight to Mama Boar and skip the front 2. These guys got to hit the front 2 unless they're taunted, though. So the chance of me taking Mama Boar out directly before this baby boar can nuzzle or heal Mama Boar again are very slim. So what's going to happen on this one is I'm likely going to have to deal with a rampage and take damage, which sucks because these guys are all kind of low in health. So then the question is, how do I set this up so I can succeed? So what I'm going to do here is, see, I've got that great combo going too, which can do, as you see here, well, it's only going to do 176 damage to 135, which is about double, and that will exhaust them. So I'm going to go ahead and use that up, try and kill baby boar. Kill it. Kill it. All right. So now I have 2 more heroes, and I have 2 potions. So the question is, who do I want to ensure they survive? Let's go ahead and look at the information. Who has high agility? 21. A chance of dodging and missing, but not that great. You've got a 15. You're almost definitely getting hit. And you also have a 21. So you're probably going to get hit. All right. So I don't have anybody with a super high agility who's likely to get missed by Mama Boar. Oftentimes I see her attack first and third position, or she'll attack first and second position. Very rarely have I seen her attack second and third position with this rampage attack. So, knowing the third position is almost guaranteed to get attacked, and knowing that this is my primary damage dealer, and these are both to a degree meat shields in front, I am going to go ahead and utilize this time to give that archer enough health to hopefully survive the rampage. All right, and we've got this combo rapid shot. Let's go ahead and use that up on the Mama Boar. See what happens. Bam, 268. So still 291 hit points. All right, it missed my knight. It attacked second and third position. Missed the knight, hit the archer, but the archer had enough health to survive. So that's a good thing. But my mana's out there. So what I'm going to do right now, while Mama Boar has these what's the word I'm thinking of? Updates, upgrades, stat improvements, right? The rampage buff. And haste. I'm going to go ahead and use some potions because that decreases my ability to hit her anyways, right? So now I've got 2 meat shields, and this archer by itself, if I give him enough turns, should be able to take Mama Boar out, assuming it's got some mana. I'm going to go ahead and use that mana, hook up the archer. And you saw that go up, so he's got a few more turns to do some fun damage. Let's use this knight. Go ahead and launch an attack now. Oh, look at that crit. Oh, that's beautiful. Only 89. I didn't even need mana on my archer. Crushed. Your toast. Deuces. All right. Didn't quite get it. Look at that. 12 hit points left, but the bleed effect caused her to die on the beginning of her turn. So there we go, baby. Let's see what we get. Come on, I've been super lucky and gotten some of those dragon masks. Let's see if we can get another one. Come on. Dragon mask. Dragon mask. Let's get that wooden dragon mask, baby. No dragon mask, but got some extra tears. I'll take it. All right. I hope you found this useful. This is just one build. I'm going to go ahead and come up with a few other builds and do a full explanation through them and let you know exactly why I'm choosing what I'm choosing and what I'm doing when I'm doing it. So you can kind of climb inside the brain and my process, and hopefully it will help you build successful Void Hunt teams. Have a good evening.